A new horror comedy has hit theaters this past weekend called The Blackening. Let's talk about it. So, The Blackening is a pretty funny movie because it takes a lot of horror movie tropes and it's pretty much a satire on the horror movie genre, much like Scream is as well. It's just that this one, instead of going off of all of the tropes, it mostly goes off of the trope that the black guy or girl always dies first. And so much so that one of their taglines for this film is, "We can't all die first." And it's very true, and it's very funny. There is a lot of humor in this film, and so it's pretty funny. Let's get into the story here real quick. The story is this group of friends from college. They usually have a party on Juneteenth, and they celebrate. On Juneteenth, they've started trying to get back together, recreate the glory days, I believe, is their exact choice of words. I just know that they hadn't really seen each other in too long, and they got the whole group back together for this Juneteenth party. And so there's the rich couple in the group, and they rented out this house in the woods. And immediately when you learn of this, all of the other characters, when they learn about the house in the woods, they're like, nah, and and then pretty much it turns into a normal like slasher. Oh, gotta survive inside the house. It's a good story, and there is actually a twist that was. I'm gonna say two twists, and they were both pretty unexpected. Except the second one, the reveal just went on for a tad too long, and that could have been condensed a little bit and made a little bit shorter. But the story is actually really solid. It's something that I somewhat have seen before. It is fairly similar to Scream, but due to how it does its take on the horror genre, I do think there's enough difference between this film and Scream. So I have to give this story a hot pocket score just due to the fact that it is very similar, but it's got that hand grenade potential, as it is pretty explosive, but there's others like it, but it handles it differently, so it's like one of those premium hot pocket flavors, you know? The cinematics, this is very well shot. There is a gag in the film that they pulled off like multiple times throughout the movie, and I laughed a lot. It's very funny. It could have used a little more horror aspects to it. As for eventually, I think they just sort of gave up on the horror and just went straight comedy. And it doesn't really matter because the jokes were all mostly funny, and that's all that really you can look forward to in a comedy. But yeah, the cinematics, really good shots, and I don't know, just a great time overall. Hand grenade score for cinematics. The directing was really solid. I really liked these directing choices. Very enjoyable, but like not super memorable. Yeah, but I don't really think there was much needed to be done, which is a good thing, unlike some films where directing is like half the battle. But a hot pocket score for the directing. Now the acting, the whole cast brought it on point. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to dig too deep into each character, because every character has their quirks and is important for their arcs at the end. Although not every character really gets an arc, but then again, horror movie, you don't really expect arcs. I'll give it a hand grenade score for all the amazing acting that was in this film. My expectations and experience, I wasn't expecting much. I had seen the trailers. I saw the concept, I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny. I saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's pretty funny. My one fear is I was hoping that they didn't use up all their good jokes in the trailers. Or the trailer, I only saw one. And a lot of the funny jokes are in the trailer, but there are some others that aren't. Like in the first 15 seconds of the movie, we were watching, and then me and my buddy immediately started laughing because there was a pretty funny opening gag there. But yeah, we both weren't expecting too much, but we both enjoyed it much more than we thought we would, and it was an all-around good time. I recommend it. Experience. Hand Grenade, I think it would have been a better experience had there been more people in the theater. We were pretty much alone. It was just me and 2 people I went with, and then 2 others. I think it feels a little more crowded of a theater. It might have been better, but to be fair, I think we went at a little inopportune time. We went early on a Monday morning, and so, yeah, that probably didn't really help. But hey, we still saw it, we still enjoyed it. It was a blast. I'm gonna give it, I think this is a solid Hand Grenade movie, just due to the fact that its concept alone is very interesting. It makes it really dynamic and explosive and very rewatchable. But other than that, leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down below if you're planning on checking out The Blackening or if you've already seen it, and subscribe, and I'll leave you guys to it.